Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
Hello and welcome to the Popternative podcast, the podcast and talk show where we have digital discussions from the worlds of TV, film, pop culture, social media, sports, everything really, depending on the guest, we talk about it all. As always, I'm your host, Peter Remoliotis. On social media, you know me as PD Beats. You'll recognize my guest from Days of Our Lives. We are with Victoria Konefal. Victoria, welcome to Popternative.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
And finally, welcome to Popternative.
Right? Finally, welcome.
Because people don't know sometimes how technical difficulties, before an episode, people are going to watch this and not realize that there were some technical difficulties, but we're good.
Yeah. And my life is a giant technical difficulty. I'm a techno turd. My publicist should have put a disclaimer at the top, like, it will take you as long as the interview is to get in touch with this woman.
Well, first of all, thank you for joining me on the show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
What has it been like the last kind of specifically 2-3 weeks for you right now? Like, how's quarantine been so far?
Dude, I mean, I'm not going to lie. Quarantine, I feel like over the past couple of days, I've finally transitioned and my brain understands that this is the new normal. So I'm not angry or confused anymore. I found that in the beginning, it was like, oh my God, what do I do? How do I even deal with this? Because it's emotional overload and our brains aren't chemically wired to even understand this kind of built trauma. So it was hard for a bit. I had my days of where I would just wake up angry. I'm not going to glamour this up. It is what it is. It gets difficult. But recently it's been a lot better. I've been putting a lot of my attention into making music and taking care of my dog. I've just been trying to keep active, I guess, mentally.
No, but what's interesting too is it's true. You wear many hats. You do a lot of things. You play music, you act. How important is it for Victoria Konefal to wear many hats?
It's very important to me to wear many hats. I love that question. I've never gotten that before. Yeah, I do consider myself a jack of all trades. I also train in Muay Thai and kickboxing. So that's something that I do. I'm all over the place. I'm a very mentally active individual and I always have to have something new to try. I also recently took up painting. I tried to build a box of for my strawberries. I'm trying to garden. Building is not my forte. It ended up looking like a pile of wood instead of an actual box for my plants. But yeah, I mean, I think that it depends on each person's personality, obviously, because some people like to stick to one thing and master it. Mm-hmm. I like to just dip my toe in a bunch and because I love to do so much and I want to experience life as much as I can. So.
No, absolutely. When did you kind of decide that storytelling and acting and singing, because whether, you act, you sing, you dance, you write, all that stuff, that's all storytelling, right?
Storytelling and performing.
When did you decide that you wanted to do that?
I knew at a very young age that that's what I wanted to do. I was about 7, and I was in attendance of an off-Broadway musical, and it was a school field trip, and I fell in love with the magic that was happening before me, the costumes, the live performance, being able to play pretend on stage for other people and just be in this imaginary world. It's almost like an escape,
for sure.
At the age of 7, I don't know what I was escaping from, but I wanted to. So I joined that off-Broadway theater company, and the rest is history. I fell in love with it immediately, and there was no way that I would ever be happy in life if I didn't pursue storytelling of some kind. So. And
you're now on Days of Our Lives, which is, I'm pretty sure, one of the longest running soap operas of all time.
55 years now or something like that.
It's crazy. So what did you know a lot about the show before you started? Because you came on, I believe, 2017. Does that sound right?
Yeah. I did know a little bit about the show just because I grew up watching it with my mom. So she always had it playing, and I always knew that Days of Our Lives was like her show, right? Like when kids at school would ask me, "What does your mom watch?" Days of Our Lives. That was the answer. Um, and it was pretty surreal because her favorite characters on the show ended up being my parents on the show. I was cast as their
Wow.
daughter, right? So
That's
my mom was
cool,
like,
right?
right? My mom was over the moon. It was so fun to tell her. She's so proud of me. So I think the thing that
That might be one of the coolest things to ever been said on
right,
Popternative.
really, it's so cool. It's fate. Like I guess it was written in the stars from the get go because I remember I
Wow.
told her I was like, "Mom, I got the role," and she screamed.
So
And then
she knew what you were talking about because she knew you were going for that, right?
Yeah. And then she dropped the phone. Her employee picked it up and was like, "Hold on, your mom is, not reachable right now. She needs a moment to calm down." And I was like, "All right, give me my mother." And I said, "Wait, Mom, I'm playing Bo and Hope's daughter." And again, freaked out, started crying, couldn't even believe it. Because when you audition for the show, it's so top secret that they don't tell you what character you're even going in
No.
for. They just say, basic character description, and that's it. So it was a wonderful moment. It's my favorite moment in my acting career so far.
Soap opera fans are amazing and crazy amazing. Like they love you guys.
Yeah.
What was your first kind of taste of like the soap opera universe fandom like when you first started on the show, and how is it now compared to?
Yeah. My first fan event, actually, before I even aired, I had started filming, but Days of Our Lives does this annual event at Universal City Walk in Los Angeles, and thousands of fans travel from all over America, sometimes Australia, sometimes, like they fly in from Hawaii. They come from all over the place, and they come to meet all of us. And I was announced at the end as a surprise because the fans knew that they were expecting a new Sierra Brady, but they didn't know who it was. And so I was announced, and just looking into the sea of people, like it's just, I couldn't even see a body. It was just heads everywhere, just so many heads. And it was my first fan event, and I was really overwhelmed.
Yep.
And I was scared, honestly, because fame is not my forte. I didn't sign up for this, for the fame. I signed up for it for the artistry and the creative fulfillment that I get from acting. And so it was really overwhelming. Over time, I've adjusted to it, and I've accepted the level of fandom that these guys possess. Some of them are kind of stalkerish, which scares me a bit, and that didn't start happening until later on, until I was more recognized and I had more screen time. But I've learned that I just need to humanize myself to them. Like I'll interact with them a lot on Twitter and Instagram and let them know that I'm just like a regular degular girl.
Yeah,
Like,
we're people.
yeah, like it's not, they're like, "Oh my God, you're so famous." I'm like, "Where? I'm not famous. What are you talking about?" No, I do a job.
You
Like,
show
I
up,
love
yeah,
my
you
job.
show up to
Yeah.
work. Yeah. Well, it was really cool because it was really interesting. I talked to like this was a while ago, but I talked to Bob Clendenning, and he was in Scrubs and a lot of things. Like if you IMDb him, like been acting for years, right? And he said there's like this strain of like actors that are like middle class actors, so to speak, that like they show up to work, do their
Yep.
show up the call time, do their lines, and then leave. You know what I mean? Like it's nothing glamorous or anything. They just
No, and acting like in general, because I've been on a couple movies, I've been on an episode of Modern Family, like I've dabbled here and there.
yeah.
And no matter where I go, it's like you show up, you do your job, you do your work. And if you walk off of set feeling like you did the best that you could, that's all the gratification and justification I need. Like, fans and awards, yeah, they're great. Nominations, great. But at the end of the day, my opinion of my work is all that matters to me. And that's all I'm doing it for is for myself. So the fans are just an added bonus. They're really sweet. They like buy me birthday gifts and send it to the studio. I'll come into work one day and there'll be like 12 cupcakes waiting for me from my fans. I'm like,
So do you have a message, a thank you message for the fans right now?
Oh, they know. I thank them all the time, especially when I get, and I'm very like honest and blunt in my videos. I'm not trying to be anybody who I'm not. So when I record a thank you video, I'm like, Y'all, these cupcakes are off the hook. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah.
That is awesome. I find it interesting because we're in like this COVID-19 phase, this quarantine phase. People are watching stuff like never before. Like I knew there was gonna be like like a lot of consumption, and my friends were telling me, right, like my show, they were telling me, you know, people are gonna like watch your show a lot. And I'm kind of like, nah, like I didn't think about it, and my numbers are just like have never been like crazy. Are you seeing a little bit of a spike from people maybe catching up on Days of Your Lives? Like, have you seen a little bit of like an exposure spike on your social media, or has it kind of just been the same?
There's an exposure spike on my social media for sure. I've gotten, like, my followers aren't in the range of, you know, crazy amounts, but I've gotten like 1,000 followers in a week since COVID started. And that's a lot. Like, that's 1,000 whole people going to my page and clicking, like, that's insane. And I've also noticed people who don't typically watch soap operas are now tuning in because everyone's home during the day, right? And soap operas are a daytime show. And whereas people used to go to work at 12 o'clock, now they're sitting at home. So they turn on the TV and they see Days of Our Lives. And some people have been tuning in, like non-soap opera fans, and they've been liking it. So that's pretty cool to get viewers that aren't our typical, you know, demographic to start watching the show.
I know the answer to this question because you kind of told me before we recorded, but I'm wondering if this could be the answer. What are some misconceptions about the soap opera world that people don't know about? I'm hoping you're going to say what I think you're going to say, but if not, I'll just add to it. But people think they know everything about, you know, what you do on the soap opera and when you record it and everything. But like, what are some misconceptions that you could talk about? Like, people are like, oh, it's like this. And you're like, no, it's exactly the opposite.
Yeah, so I'll touch on what you're talking about. We film 8 months in advance, right?
So you knew what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
We film 8 months in advance, so we have so much content to memorize. We also shoot Monday through Friday. We're capable of shooting 3 episodes in one day. The most pages that I've ever had to shoot in a day is 71 pages for me personally.
Wow.
That was insane. And we only get one take per scene. They don't let us rehearse, really. They don't let us have multiple takes. It's
game time. Like, it's on.
It's game time. It's boot camp. It's in and out. And like, there's this common misconception that soap opera actors are bad actors, right? And it's like, oh, it's dramatic. Well, the show is written to be that way on purpose. There are people who like it, and there are people who want to see that writing. Like, the writers write it on purpose, and we just have to do our thing.
You're just laying it out, like, all out right now. Like, all right, soap opera 101. Like, let's go.
Seriously, like, people think that we're bad. It's like, no, we're actually, without sounding cocky, like, we're the hardest working actors in the industry because we have so much work and we have these situations that are so far-fetched. Like, acting is about relating to the piece that you're working on, right? How am I going to relate to the storyline where an evil doctor comes in, puts a microchip in my mother's brain and makes her think she's a princess? That's never happened to me. Now my TV mother is walking around as a completely different person with a different consciousness, and I'm supposed to relate to that. Like, it's hard stuff. It's a hard storyline to act seriously. So people just don't give us enough credit for the work that we do.
That is crazy. I love your energy too. Like, you're really like, it's amazing. No, because sometimes, you know, I'll have people on my show and, you know, they're dialed in, they're focused, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm usually like the energetic one, right? Like, they open up and I'm like, hello, welcome to Popternative. They're like, oh my God. so it's pretty crazy, but no, it's amazing to see. The soap opera world is really cool. I had William DeVry, who was in General Hospital a while ago, and he was telling me about a lot of those type of things, but I did not know about the 8 months in advance. Like, I legit didn't know about that.
That's only Days of Our Lives. The other soaps are suffering right now because some of them either film 2 months in advance or I think General Hospital films like 4 weeks in advance because they listen to fan feedback a lot. And we do. But I think that, like, I think it's kind of cool. Our writers just have so much confidence in their stuff that they're like, whatever, we're just going to do it our way. Like, and if the fans don't like it, then the fans don't like it. And I think there's power in that. So
I like that.
Yeah,
There is power in that for sure.
Right? Like filming 8 months of material with no feedback, and it's too late to change it if the fans aren't on board, you know? So you just have to, you know, trust that it's going to work out.
Amazing. Well, Victoria, thank you so much for coming on Popternative.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I was excited. It was great to chat with you. Where can people follow you on social media to keep up to date with everything?
Yes, I have an Instagram and a Twitter, and it's the handle for both of them is at Victoria Konefal. So just super simple, first and last name.
Very cool. And people could watch Days of Our Lives right now, right?
Yes. Well, not right now. We air at like 12 or 1 or I don't know.
Well, like currently though, like they can watch it.
Currently, yes. Monday through Friday. You can watch me on.
Thank you for answering my question as literal as possible. I appreciate that. Thanks for doing that. I appreciate that.
Can you watch it right now? No, but tomorrow you can.
Oh. Well, seriously, thank you, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you. You too. Stay safe out there.
Absolutely.
And to anyone who is watching, stay safe. Stay at home. Just because the curve is flattening doesn't mean that we can go outside yet. We need to eradicate this thing.
Stay home. Absolutely. Stay at home. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. And until next time, this is Victoria Konefal and PD Beats signing off. Stay safe, everyone.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.